All right. My camera only records 7 minutes at a time. We'll get some better equipment next time. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to go to page 2. As I said, this is interactive. So please ask questions as we go. Essential terms. Like I said, this is the nitty-gritty. So we're going to try and keep it fun and exciting, but it's a lot of information. That's why I took the time to make sure we put the definitions in. I didn't want you to have to write them down as I kind of talk generally about these things. I want you to refer to this later on because you're going to need it. Okay. Advertisement. When people talk about advertising, a lot of times they think advertising and marketing is the same thing. But really, advertising is the pretty thing to get your attention. It's the radio ad. It's the social media. Ooh, handwriting. It's that billboard. Maybe it's a radio drop, that spot you do on the radio and you say some things. All these ads, or these are advertisements. These are things that get people's attention, all right? But it's supposed to, an effective ad should have a call to action, where it doesn't just get their attention, it also gets them, it tells them to do something, or makes them feel a certain way that you want them to feel, in relation to what you're trying to get them to do, okay? Mm-hmm. So, this ad is a tool of marketing, though. It's part of your marketing process, and I'm going to talk about marketing process all day today. And your marketing process, it's the inner workings. A lot of times, it looks, in the simplest forms, it looks a lot like this. It's something comes in, what do you do with it, and then how do you follow up with those customers? Really, I'm going to draw a little bit better than that. Your ad is the thing that gets them interested, but your marketing process is the thing that converts them into an actual paying customer. Okay. So don't get it confused with marketing. People start to tell you that marketing and advertising is the same thing. It's not. You don't know what you're talking about. Brand, people saying, that they have a brand or you have to protect your brand. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely important. Your brand has value. Before we got started, we were talking about Honda, and even though you didn't necessarily want to buy a Honda, you had a good idea. You remember what they usually talk about. They're reliable, they're good cars, that kind of thing. Everybody seems to have that opinion because that's what they want people to think. They're not saying Hondas are sexy or they're cool. They're saying Hondas are reliable and they start up when you need to, and they're at a good cost, at a good price. If you want fancy, you get an Acura. The same car, just has just some different stuff on it. Mm-hmm. So, but you know that because of their frequency and their advertisements, the messages they've been giving out for years, and the brand that they've built. That's valuable. Exactly. People are expressing that same message when they talk about Honda. That's their brand because all the millions and millions and millions of dollars they've paid in advertisements and in quality control and things to make sure that they have a good quality product. It's money invested. If they start to have problems with their cars, if people stop buying their cars because they think they're not reliable anymore, their brand has been damaged, that's bad. You have a brand. You are a brand. You have to figure out how your company, what's the branding behind your company, the branding of your company. So who are you? Now I chose Holmes Consulting a long time ago. I look back at it now, I might not have called it that. I might have called it something else. But I was younger, and it was just me consulting, and I wanted to make it clear what I was doing. I chose the name Holmes Consulting. Now I might call it WH Consulting or something else consulting, but that's what I chose at the time. But because it is Holmes Consulting, I'm the brand. I'm the face of the company. So I have to make sure I do certain things. I can't do certain things on social media. I can't do certain things out in the street. When people see me, it's weird. If I don't have a shirt and tie on, people will walk right by me. It's like they know. I'm like, hey, I just saw you yesterday. I didn't recognize you. You didn't have a shirt and tie. But that's part of the brand. And I've defined what I want my brand to be on social media. Define the way I want it to be with meetups and in the business world, the things I go to, part of the brand. And I have to protect that. The brand allows me to do certain things, to have certain events, to convince people to do certain things. All that ties in. So please be, and we're going to get more into that as we go through, but be aware of that. What's your brand? What image are you giving out, and what image do you want to display to the world? And how does that affect, or either hurt or help your business? Channel. Channel is a term that usually a lot of people who do a lot of marketing process stuff really talk about. But the channel is the thing, is the means that people use to communicate with your company. So is it the phone? Is it social media? Is it emails? Talking to you through your website? Are they coming to your store? Whatever those avenues they use for communication, those are channels, and you need to manage those channels. It's not just if I say, let's say we have an event, and I meet you at the event, and I get your business card. What do I do with it? What do I do with it next? When do I call you and set up something? Do I call you first, or do I send an email out? Managing that, how you got that customer interaction through that channel, is the marketing process. All that ties together in how you're going to convert that customer. Okay. So, but your channels are the ways that you basically, if you look at your hand, your fingers will be the channels that all bring everything down, into your hands. You can grasp it. So you can grasp the dollar. That's your channels are the same thing. That's the way that you interact with your customer and bring them to you, bring their dollars to you, let them buy your service. Okay. You with me so far?
Yes.
All right. Client, customer, obviously those are the people who buy your stuff. Competitor. Know who your competitors are. One is going to help you to make some decisions. I know that I know of course who the bigger consulting companies are. I don't try to compete with them. If anything, I don't compete with them. I go for a totally different market. If someone can afford a $100,000 engagement with Accenture or Pricewaterhouse or Cognizant or some of the other companies, then they wouldn't need me. I've got seven guys who go out and we get it done. Or, and a lady, excuse me, I'm sorry, 7 guys and a lady. And we get it done. But, so we would be less expensive. We're also working with smaller companies, but we give a great product. A lot of my guys that work with these larger consulting companies. So we're giving the same kind of service, but I work with a smaller company, and it works out for us. As we get bigger, then we'll see how it goes. But but I know who my competitor is. Who my competitors are. Folks who are at my same level, I watch what they're doing, and they're watching me. And sometimes we collaborate. A lot of times we collaborate. It helps us to grow. But you should know who your competitors are, how they're marketing, who their customers are, the market share. Like if let's say if there are 100,000 people who are out there who could possibly buy what you offer, and your competitors are going for that same portion of those same people, you should be able to really pay attention to what they're doing and reach out to that same group of customers. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, what sets you apart from your competitors?